The children were young, 7 and 9, but their dad apparently works with underwater scooters, and he told detectives that the kids were good swimmers and they had experience with diving. So he gave the okay for them to practice for a few minutes alone in a friend's pool. But detectives say they've now discovered that what was in the diving tank wasn't regular oxygen. So this was Friday evening around 5:30. The children's father, Rodney Nairn, took them to a friend's house in the Pinecrest Lakes neighborhood. Nairn was there to help the homeowner demonstrate one of those underwater scooters to a woman. According to the incident report, the children asked to use some dive gear in the pool while the adults were dealing with the scooter in the garage. Their dad said it would be okay. Quote, Rodney said Zale and Saxon have scuba dove before, so there should be no issues.
Even though they were 7 and 9, they were experienced swimmers and had some working knowledge of diving and had been given a tank and a regulator or whatever you would breathe off of to get in the pool and practice diving. It's looking like the children were not breathing the oxygen that they believed they were breathing. It looks like they were indeed breathing helium.
The major says helium is sometimes mixed with oxygen and nitrogen. For experienced divers who go very deep, more than 130 feet, it's called a trimix, and it's for people to combat possible nitrogen narcosis. Now, he says the children would have thought they were breathing normally, but right now it looks as though they ended up drowning at the bottom of the pool, the regulator still in 9-year-old Zale's mouth. According to the incident report, the owner of that tank who threw it into the pool for the children to play with after they were pulled out told detectives he needed to analyze the contents of that tank, but they told him, no, this is a criminal investigation. We're going to investigate what was in it. And according to the report, the children could have been underwater for as long as 10 minutes before their dad came back to check on him, raised the alert. They pulled them out. Everyone there was giving CPR and calling 911, but unfortunately those children did pass away early this morning. Terry Parker, WPBF 25 News.
And Terry, certainly our prayers are with the family tonight, and we'll continue to closely follow this developing story throughout the night. Be sure to stay up to date by downloading our free WPBF 25 News app. We will send any breaking developments right to your phone.
We're going to turn now to the fight against COVID-19. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention relaxes the official guidance for wearing masks outdoors. U.S. health officials now say fully vaccinated Americans can go outside without a mask in most cases.
President Joe Biden took off his own mask today outside, saying Americans have made stunning progress fighting the virus. Sally Kidd is in Washington with the details.
This is good news, Tiffany and Todd. With more than a third of Americans now fully vaccinated, the CDC says it can recommend easing some restrictions. Unmasking outdoors. If you're fully vaccinated, the CDC now says you don't need to wear a mask outside unless you're in a large crowd of strangers.
Beginning today, gathering with a group of friends in a park, going for a picnic, as long as you are vaccinated and outdoors, you can do it without a mask.
The CDC says everyone should continue to wear masks indoors at places like restaurants, hair salons, and shopping centers, and at small outdoor gatherings if you are unvaccinated. But if you're fully vaccinated
and want to attend a small outdoor gathering with people who are vaccinated and unvaccinated, or dine at an outdoor restaurant with friends from multiple households, the science shows if you are vaccinated, you can do so safely, unmasked.
The CDC says whether fully vaccinated or not, you don't have to wear a mask when walking, biking, or running outside alone or with members of the same household. Some states are going even further.
Effective April 30th, face covering will only be required outside in public when it's not possible to socially distance or as may be required by sector-specific guidance.
But some health experts say outdoor mask mandates should be eliminated completely, in part to address vaccine hesitancy.
I think it'll be a lot more effective if we say, once you are fully vaccinated, that's the end of the road for you.
The CDC defines fully vaccinated as 14 days after you receive your last dose. In Washington, Sally Kidd, WPBF 25 News.
Palm Beach County is the only county in our viewing area with a mask mandate that's still in effect. Today, county commissioners did debate if they should lift that requirement. The director of the county health department was quick to weigh in, arguing this is not the time to do away with masks. Our Anna Espinoza joins us live with more on that discussion over the mask mandate. Anna?
During this morning's Palm Beach County Commissioners meeting, commissioners debated the effectiveness of the county's mask mandate. The countywide mask mandate remains in place until May 18th, but Commissioner Melissa McKinley says she wonders how effective it is if they can't enforce it. Vice Mayor Robert Weinroth says the order was put in place before we had a COVID-19 vaccine, and they were looking for ways to safely reopen businesses. But he says now that the vaccine is highly accessible, we're in a much different position.
I think at some point we have to release our grip on our residents and tell them, if you want to wear a mask, great. If you don't want to wear a mask, do what is right for you and your family. So we may not be there yet, but I think that this conversation is pretty ripe.
The Palm Beach County Health Director, Dr. Alina Alonso, says she believes the mask mandate order is still effective and sets an example for the public. And the vice mayor did add that even when the mask mandate is lifted, there may still be situations and places where masks are required. Reporting live, Anna Espinoza, WPBF 25 News.
Anna, thank you. And Florida's COVID-19 state of emergency has been extended again for another 60 days. Governor DeSantis signing that order just hours before it expired. The order gives the governor more flexibility to respond to the pandemic by deploying National Guard troops and distributing relief money. And the governor also directed the Florida Department of Economic Opportunity to extend the waiver for the work search requirement through May 29th. This waiver expired over the weekend. The new extension means unemployed and eligible Floridians will not have to search for new jobs in order to keep getting their payments.
New at 6, the deadline to comply with a requirement to get the new Real ID has been extended again. The Department of Homeland Security pushing the deadline to May 3rd, 2023. The government says the pandemic has made it much harder for people to get into DMV offices to upgrade their ID cards. The driver's license or ID cards have a star in the upper right-hand corner when you get the new Real ID. Eventually, everybody will need either a Real ID or a passport to board a plane in the U.S. or to enter federal facilities.
The Florida Health Department is reporting more than 5,200 new cases of COVID-19 today. The total number of statewide cases now stands at 2,217,000. The state is also reporting 46 new COVID-19 deaths.
And looking now at the vaccination effort here in Florida, more than 8.6 million people in the state have received at least one vaccine dose. Nearly 5.9 million in Florida are now fully vaccinated. New at 6, Publix is now offering the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine again after the CDC and FDA gave the green light to resume using the one-dose vaccine nationwide. Now you can pick either the J&J or Moderna vaccine when you book an appointment through the Publix online reservation system. We just checked and all of our local counties are accepting appointments right now. Just head to publix.com/COVID vaccine to book your appointment. Chris?
All right, thanks, Todd. Tuesday it is, and it was another gorgeous one here across South Florida. Live look outside. Looking good, nice and comfy. Dew points are down there, so we'll call it a beautiful day here across South Florida. 85, the official high temperature morning start. 75, you could thank the breezy conditions because we didn't get as cool as last night because of the winds. They're super howling at times. Again, we'll continue with that breeze again. But the good news is, as long as the breeze is there, it feels nice and comfy, even though these numbers are into the lower 80s. We've got 83 currently in towards Okeechobee County, back towards Belglade, 80 closer to the coast. So we'll continue to sit warm and mild tonight. And as we take a look at the forecast, you can see we will be talking about high pressure in control. Nice little steady easterly breeze. And with high pressure dominating for the next 48 hours, it's going to keep this storm system in its place for now. But eventually, that cool front headed into South Florida. And yes, those rain chances will be picking back up as we head into the weekend. We'll take a look if there's any cooler weather right behind that front. All in South Florida's most accurate in just a few minutes. Todd?
Yeah. New at 6, Broward County Public School Superintendent Robert Runcie has offered to step down following his arrest last week on a perjury charge. The superintendent made the offer as school board members discussed his arrest. The superintendent said during the meeting he is willing to discuss a path of, quote, mutual separation. The case against Runcie apparently hinges on questions surrounding that criminal case involving another school official. Runcie testified before a grand jury that was investigating whether school districts are following new school safety laws following the Parkland school shooting.
Right now, the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office needs your help solving a shooting that happened in Green Acres that left a woman in critical condition. Deputies say somebody shot a woman along East Pickwick Park Drive around 9 last night. They say the woman had a gunshot wound to her torso. She was then rushed to the hospital. Deputies have not made any arrest, and anybody with information is urged to call Crime Stoppers at the number here on your screen, 1-800-458-TIPS. A mail truck catches fire on the Treasure Coast, nearly destroying all the mail and the packages inside. The one piece of mail saved and what you could soon be getting delivered to you if you were impacted by this. Plus,
I was very surprised. People were very generous.
A local teenager didn't want the light to shine on him during a special day. His one wish that hundreds of people are supporting and how you can still help make that selfless dream come true. You're watching WPBF 25 News at 6.
You're watching WPBF 25 News at 6.
A U.S. Postal Service truck goes up in flames mid-route in Port St. Lucie, destroying almost everything inside.
this all happened yesterday afternoon along Peacock Boulevard. Police say nobody was hurt. That's the good news. But the mail truck is a total loss. Still no word on what caused the fire. And a USPS spokesperson for the South Florida District says all of the mail except for one piece, a birth certificate, was destroyed. It somehow flew out right before the mail truck caught fire. While it was partially burned, the address was still they could still read the address, and it was hand delivered to the customer. The postmaster is sending each customer a letter or an apology and instructions on what to do if they had anticipated mail or packages that may have been destroyed in the fire. But that birth certificate, it was intact enough, Todd.
That is just amazing, Tiff.
Isn't it?
Wow. Well, new at 6, speaking of amazing, a local young man's bar mitzvah is helping children all over the world, all thanks to a 7th grader from Boca Raton. Ben Ferber decided that instead of receiving gifts, he wanted donations to his favorite charity. Our Caroline Coles explains why.
Although they doubled up their mask, 13-year-old Ben Ferber says he and his family were healthy at his bar mitzvah and have been throughout the pandemic, which is why Ben did not want any gifts for his transition into adulthood. Instead, he wanted donations towards his favorite organization, High Lifeline, which provides financial and emotional support for children who are battling deadly diseases.
I'm very healthy and I'm very happy. And, you know, some of these kids and their families, they're all upset, and the kids obviously aren't in the best health. So whatever I could donate to make them feel better would help.
It was actually the pandemic and the stay-at-home order that inspired Ben to raise money for these children.
I feel bad, you know? Not that I feel, especially more this year that I've been stuck in my home like they are. So notice how bad it could be. It's their whole life. I've been lucky. For me, it's only been a few months. But for them, it's, you know, multiple years.
And because of the pandemic, Ben could not invite a lot of people to his bar mitzvah, but he was still able to raise more than $18,000 in donations.
I was very surprised. I thought I was only going to get a small amount, but people were very generous.
Generous donations that Ben hopes will put a smile on other children's faces. In Boca Raton, I'm Caroline Coles for WPBF 25 News.
Ben, you're a hero. His goal is to raise $25,000 for High Lifeline. That money will be used to send sick children to a special camp that's just for them. If you're interested in donating, you can visit our website, WPBF.com. What an amazing young man. Chris?
All right, thanks, Todd. Tuesday it is. Live look outside. We're in Nettles Island. You can see we're looking good here. Partly cloudy skies. Even though the temperatures were in the 80s, it was warm, but still nice and comfy because of that nice little on-store steady breeze that's coming out of the east right now. So numbers ranging from about, I'd say, lower 80s from our Treasure Coast community. Slightly cooler up towards Vero at 76, 80 currently in West Palm Beach. So again, right where we should be for this time of year. High temperatures again, average for this time of year. Everything looks good. Breezy conditions tonight. It's going to keep the atmosphere stirred up. It's going to make it feel even more comfortable. In the dew points are on the low side as well. So we'll take this nice weather again, considering we're in May by the end of the weekend. So again, we'll take it. Low 70s tonight, on our way down to the 60s across our inland communities. You can think high pressure again. Nice dry easterly flow for now, but you know that's all going to change, especially as we kick into Thursday into Friday. Winds will be back out of the southeast, and that's going to be feeding that front in that storm system that is out towards Texas. And you can see most, or I'd say 66% of the country seeing spring-like conditions. We've got them down towards Texas. We've got, look at the 80s. 86 right now in Chicago, my goodness, close to 90 degrees. They were warmer than us today. Now, that's perspective, right? 81 Charlotte, even the Northeast, sitting pretty nice and comfortable into the 60s and 70s. So where are we headed tomorrow? No big changes. High pressure going to move down towards the south and southeast. So that's going to allow the flow to come back right out of the south and southeast. So tomorrow will be warmer. Maybe an isolated sprinkle across our inland communities. Thursday, same deal. Winds again out of the south, so that's going to be a hotter wind, okay? So that does mean those temperatures will creep back into the upper 80s. And then on Friday, a southwesterly flow before the front, soaring those temperatures again into the lower 90s. And as that front drops through for us later into the day on Friday, expect scattered showers. It stalls over the area Saturday. And again on Sunday, keeping the scattered showers in the forecast for both days. We do need it. Right now, some storms could be a little bit on the stronger side, but I'm not looking at a severe weather outbreak like they're seeing across the deep south. Boating forecast, that looks okay. Seas running anywhere between 2 to 4 feet. So not too bad out there. Just want to use that caution, especially when the breeze is kicking up there close to the Gulf Stream. Want to use that caution. High risk of some rip currents. Keep that in mind because tomorrow's going to be a very nice beach day again here across South Florida. Seas running 2 to 4 feet. Water temperature nice and warm, 80 degrees. That's where we like it, right? High tide happening just after 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. All right, so here's a look at South Florida, certified and most accurate forecast. 8 years running. You can see we are talking about the heat really kicking in. Look at that, 90 on Friday, 93 on Saturday, but hopefully we can get cooled off some scattered showers and storms for both Saturday and again on Sunday. And even though that front's going to stall across our area, we're still going to be hot with high temperatures then into the upper 80s. Todd?
Thank you. Tonight at 11, a terrifying ordeal for a Florida woman who was shot while she was driving home. Why police think someone may have been targeting her. We have that story and much more tonight on WPBF 25 News at 11. We'll be right back.